Oh, I was listening.
I waited to unmute you guys till later because I didn't know where that was going.
Beautiful.
I sent
I
you
mean,
the
that's
end
fair.
that's totally not relevant for game tonight. Storyteller.
Mizue.
I think this is a terrible time to start this conversation.
Oh, surely,
We're
but I'm
up.
going to anyway.
Conversation.
The scene. Did I set that up correctly?
Mhm.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Hi, Internet.
Hi.
Hello, internet.
Get your fill of food right now because it's gonna be a fun one tonight. We got a lot. We got I'm gonna say a lot. We got a little bit going on. Seamus murdered himself in the corner there. But we have things to do tonight. Somebody has to meet the prince for the first time.
Oh no, I forgot about that.
And real quick, before we get into it, just because I enjoy hearing you all introduce yourselves and speak a little bit, let's go around, and I want to kind of have everybody introduce themselves briefly. Doesn't have to be as big as it has been before, but then tell me something you remember from last game. And we'll start with Mr. Braggy.
Beans. All right. I am Bruce, also known as Harambe. I play Braggy, and he has discovered that he is a fresh baby vampire, and
He discovered that he's a real boy.
He's a wee lad.
and he saw all kinds of crazy shit going down, like exploding zombies or something.
He was going down an earlier round.
Or something. They were your friends, if I recall. It's so labeled in the codex. So,
Oh boy.
Braggy's friends.
with that, I think let's transition on over to Mercy. You just put a piece of food in your mouth. Your turn. I was waiting. I saw it coming.
Awesome, perfect. No, see, I really thought we were going to go to Lucy next, but that's great.
He's like a waiter.
Yeah, that was the perfect
And
moment.
how was your food this evening? Good,
Still
excellent.
kicking, in fact, still kicking. Yeah, I'm Mercy, or I play Mercy. She is a bundle of sunshine trapped in an endless night, and she's learning to cope with that.
Poetic.
And last time, Mercy tried to play tag with what she assumed would be a minion, because what kind of crazy ass motherfucking vampire deals with their own bullshit? Not Maggie, but the Six apparently does. And so she tried to climb a tree to catch a minion and got caught herself. It was a good time.
It was a good time. Lucy.
Me.
Yes.
Me. Hello, I am Lucy McCoy. I'm also known as Bloodgear. I am playing Leon Barbeau, world famous jet setting opera singer. Her and her sire, Zana, have come to the Windy City in order to perform for the prince and others, perhaps, and evade a secret threat. She is accompanied by her ghouls, Solon and Lizette, always flanking her as she walks wherever she goes. She's a bit naive, but very excited and ready to prove herself in the world of darkness.
Excellent. And now
He said the game name.
he did.
She said the thing.
Let's go to one of our caretakers, Antonios. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I am Ray Tug. I am playing Antonius Giovanni, and we got some shit to deal with. Last game, via maybe a verbal slip or perhaps a pointed statement to piss everybody off. He hath learned that there's another necromancer in town that needs to be put in their place.
Don't
That's
they
it.
all?
Now, from one of the only one of you that don't have to make the check that we're all going to have to make, Egret, please introduce and let us know about how you remembered last session.
I am Scarlet. I am playing Ygritte. She is a ghoul underneath Roland. And last session, well, hurt. It hurt real bad because she's squishy. She found out. She found out that zombies are also real in this world, and she was on the wrong end of one. She's a bit better now, though.
Yeah, to be fair,
Hopefully.
there are regular
She got
zombies
better.
too. You just encountered the more fun ones. So.
It was just more of a popping kind of party, you know?
Yeah, they were
Zombie
like
cracker.
fresh, you could say.
Zombies with party favors.
Let us now go to your ball and chain, or the one that you look after, however you would like to describe him, Roland.
More of a twig and berries, really.
Ah.
than a
Wow.
forest berry.
Damn.
Wow. Insulting. All right. See if I help you with anything you need done.
Oh, shut up, Seamus. You know you love it.
Anyway, I'm Seamus. I'm playing Roland, the deputy and revenge seeker of today's little foray.
That's a common theme that I've seen through the little bits of downtimes and just comments being said is revenge. Yes, revenge, a very good theme for the evening. But least we forget, and of course, last but not least, our other caretaker this evening, Six. What are you gonna do when these little squishy vampires want to jump in front of the next exploding zombie?
First of all, I'd like to backtrack to episode 1. Hi, my name is Six, and welcome to Jackass.
Meow, 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 meow.
Valid.
I mean, if you are gonna be dumb, you do need to be tough. That's a vampire staple. So
It was a very risky move, but it kind of paid off.
no, you guys relatively unscathed, all things considered, with the amount of explosions that could have been in there. So, but no, I had a blast last time. I just want to say. Hey, dad joke's got a dad joke. I can't help it. It's in my. It happens. You have kids. You can't. They come out like word vomit. So that.
All jokes are dad jokes when you become a parent.
That's true. That is true. I'm very apparent. Though the theme of revenge, I'd like to keep with that for just a minute. Many of you have touched on this. Many of you have discussed your desire for revenge. And while everyone here has probably a more fresh idea in their mind of what and why and whom they are seeking revenge on, the city of Chicago is full of old creatures. And I make a specific point to say creatures and not just kindred, because we all know there are other things that go bump in the night. Many of which have their own motives and wishes and desires and maybe plans for revenge. But this night, a couple of nights after the events of the explosive crypt, we all find ourselves waking up. And as per usual, with the beginning of a fresh night, let's see who's hungry.
All right.
Do I need to do this as well?
You do.
Welcome to the party.
All right, hang on.
And we will touch on that
Help
in
me out.
just a
What do I
hang
have to roll again?
Yeah.
Oh,
So you
hang
should
on.
be at
I gotta
2.
fix. I gotta fix.
Yeah, you should be at 2 instead of.
Oh,
yeah, I
yes.
had a change.
Yeah, instead of
I
4, yeah.
should have reminded everyone, reset your hunger back down to the 1, aside from Braggy, who is at a 0 for the last couple of nights.
Oof.
Oh
But I
boy,
do
that's
need to
gonna
make
be
a
fun when that
prospectus
kicked in.
So, yeah, there should be next to... There you go. You failed, and you
Oh,
get
rouse check failed.
that
Here we
first
go.
hunger.
Oh
Now,
dear.
here's how this goes. And this is for... actually, let's not start there. I want to first ask, because the option was given to all of you but one, to stay or go. You were welcome to go back to your own havens in these last couple of nights. The only one under lock and key was Braggy. Now, you all have accommodations in the master suites if you choose to stay there, if you wanted to assist Will with security and the team that monitors Nova both night and day to potentially keep an eye on Braggy. That was always an option. So I did want to see first who went home and who's waking up in their own haven tonight versus who is going to be waking up in the master suites.
Would have gone home.
I assumed you would have went home.
A lot of. That was a long downtime. There was a lot of stuff to do.
Couple of
so-
nights.
Yeah.
Couple of nights. I assume that Six and Antonius were probably getting things started.
We
Yeah.
stayed that first evening to do the education of the poor new boy.
I am
And then
just as an aside, because I wanted to put it on the channel, but I don't think I'm going to because that first 40 minutes is, or hour and 40 minutes is just silence from you, and it's
Oh,
such
fine.
a
It's
travesty
Here.
it's rough.
that I
Fun.
missed
We
all
all
of
had
that
fun.
because I had fun hearing everybody else and then trying to piece together what you were saying based off of what other people said, and I was like, could he have said this? Could he have
I
said
knew I
that?
would've had to
And
bring
so-
something up.
I was very I was both happy and disappointed to not have that audio, but it does exist, and that did give you some little semblance of something. But okay, so
yeah, Tony
Six-
would have gone for that day, that night, helped explain things, and then pretty much after that encounter was over, it would have vamoosed to get working on all those projects.
Gotcha.
Um,
Six, similarly,
well-
you said that you were going to also bounce home. Okay.
hmm
Well, the Egret would have stayed until she felt she was okay to not be there, and we would have gone home too.
Okay. So I would say you
Mercy, stay.
probably would have gotten one day to yourselves after the healing and all of that fun stuff if you wanted to have a day at home. So tonight, would you say that you are at your personal havens, or did you spend the night at Master Suites?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, personal haven. Mercy,
Personal.
you said Master Suites.
Right. She said she wanted to be close to kind of mind Braggy
Gotcha.
as things went
Are-
on. She's pretty much as comfortable there as home.
That's fair. You're not sleeping you're not in the room with Braggy though, correct?
No.
Okay.
No, she's not.
Separate room. And then I assume because of your situation, we'll say, Leon, you are also within the Master's Suites nearby. Okay. To that end, you do have your own room separate from your sire. So if you wanted to venture down to the Club Nova during the nights that you are here, that would have been an option as well.
Yes, she would certainly do that because she's a fucking brat. Let's admit it.
It's true. And the microphone does have hours of being open. You would have had an opportunity to hop on stage and have fun with it if you wanted to, without your sire around, so you can sing some of your music as opposed to other things. But with that information, Braggy, you are alone in this room that you've gotten used to over the last couple of days. Even compared to, you had a modest living where you were, when you were alive. You had a nice place, presumably, good job, decent pay. Master Suites is like staying in a, 10-star accommodation, but all the time. It's very opulent, and that kind of shows. But for you, it's more like a very gilded cage. Something that some of your other vampire friends, acquaintances, may understand a little bit about. But you wake up this night different. The past few nights, since you initially woke up and found out that you are in fact an undead monster, you haven't had this hunger that you've heard the others describe. Tonight, though, the hunger pangs hit you, and it's not like I'm feeling a bit peckish. The vampire hunger is this supernatural, it's like a beast clawing within you, thirsting for human vitae. And this is a new sensation to you, and you don't know what it is at first. You do piece together that it is the hunger that they speak of, but that leads to more questions. Namely, why did it take a couple of days? Why just now? But for the time being, you do feel that hunger. And it's there, it's nagging. And it's this realization maybe to you for the first time that this is, unless you outright murder and take the life of another, of a living being, this little bit of hunger will always be with you forever now. So process that in whatever way you will. However, we then will quickly jaunt over to Antonius. You awake in your haven. I assume it is the one that is secluded, we'll say.
It's the one below, yes.
Very secluded. You, like many nights when you awake, are alone. The silence of your secure area is comforting and normal. However, on this night, when you awaken and begin your preparations for the evening, you hear a voice speaking to you. Not from the shadows, not from underneath your bed or any other spooky place that they might be. Just omnipresent in your mind. What sounds like a shifting between your ears. It's been a long while, hasn't it, Tony?
He sits up, just looks around.
You're welcome to make awareness wits if you choose.
I don't know if the whole secret spirits are here.
Also an option, and because it's your very, very, very familiar place, I'm going to give you a +2 to the roll with a difficulty of, let's say, 3.
2, difficulty 3.
Ugh.
Yep.
Well, that works. You hit the difficulty. You look around, you explore the inches of this very familiar space. Your eyes moving over every square inch, looking in the places where you know, likely, where something could potentially be, though you know nothing could be here. And you see nothing. But the voice persists, this time shifting to the other side of your ear. Poor Jimmy. That little mountain on the Laotian border. All that time you spent in that jungle.
Okay. First thing of the night, and people are fucking playing games. All right. Do I recognize the voice?
You don't recognize the voice. And I'd go even further to say, if in what this voice is mentioning, if at any point in your life or unlife there was ever that overwhelming guilt that you might have like talked back to yourself or had those inner monologues of like trying to process the guilt of the things that happened,
Mm-hmm.
this is a different voice completely to that too. This is a completely new voice. And in fact,
Okay.
almost to that reference of people playing jokes comment, whether or not it was said out loud,
It was.
you do hear, "Oh, no joke, no joke. I'm just curious to see what the great Antonius does when he's out of his element in his safe space."
Hmm. Well, the first thing that he would probably end up doing in a response to that would be move his hand about 4 inches to the left and have a desert eagle in it, and he'll sit up. I don't know about great, but you've got my attention.
Good. I was hoping to have your attention. Let me introduce myself. We have a mutual friend named Dirge.
Okay. You've won a point. That's a good thing to have in common.
I believe that, well, let's just say he left some personal effects.
Wait a minute. And he will stand up from the nice, soft but simple bed and move over to a little work table where a bunch of his junk and study things are, and pull out of a leather satchel an old book.
As you make your way over towards that table, the voice goes, "Warmer, warmer, getting, oh, you're burning up." Until you remove the book and he goes, "Bingo, buddy. Nice to meet you."
Kind of run his hand over the cover.
Ooh.
With whom do I have the pleasure?
Now that is the question. Because I know a little bit about you, and you know very little about me. I also know that names carry power. And I don't think I want to give you mine so readily.
Well, that means you're not an idiot. That's a good start.
You see, the fun part about me is that We can talk anytime you like, especially now. And you look down, and where you ran your hand over the book, you have a bit of a cut and a little bit of blood.
Neat. He'll close it.
I wouldn't want to keep you waiting. I know you have so much to get to, but I did just want to, I don't know, say hello. Talk about your dreams. Pretty messed up stuff in there, bud.
Well, I apologize that you had to go in there.
Oh, I loved it.
That might be a point against you now.
I think I'm still
So
in
what's
the
your play?
positive. My play? Interesting words. Play. I do enjoy a bit of that. My overall ambition? I don't know. I do enjoy freedom. And, you just might be the one to help me with that.
You know, you wouldn't be the first weird thing that I've pulled out of one thing and gave a little bit of freedom in this town. It depends. I think that's a little much for a first date, though. We might need to get to know each other a little better first.
You know, thinking about it, you always did love your foreplay. I'm willing to play, as you say. I do want to stress, though, that despite Dirge and his surprising, I must say, abilities, there was little hope that I had that he would have even gotten me out of that godforsaken place beneath the city. So I'm just happy to be up here with all you beautiful creatures.
Well, quick opening interview then. A question. A theoretical one. Let's say I did that. Let's say you got out. You have a night on the town. You're in the biggest city in the world. What's the first thing you do? And be honest.
The voice gets really quiet. But there's an almost kind of humming there. And it takes a few seconds or two before the voice fully comes back and answers you. Be honest. You know what, Tony? I will. Everybody gets the first one for free. And I want you to know that how you interpret my answer doesn't affect our friendship in the slightest. If I got a night free out on the town, biggest city in the world, I would stop at nothing to not go back and to take as much life and chaos as I could possibly muster. And the night wouldn't stop there. It would pour into the day, and the night after, and the day after, and the night after, and the day after. But you, Tony, I'll let you watch.
I'm not gonna lie, you remind me of a relative.
You hear a small chuckle. Like a very raspy little laugh.
Well, this is an interesting pickle we've got ourselves in. Tell you what. We'll table this for now, but I'll be looking into it. Do you intend on riding along, as it were?
Oh, I'm always a little bit here and a little bit there.
Alright. Last thing then. I don't intend on calling you disembodied voice our entire thing. Give me a name. Doesn't have to be a real name. We know the power of names. Give me something to call you.
Okay. I wanna have a little fun with it.
Okay.
So I want you to roll me.
Ooh.
Are you asking this genuinely? Are you asking?
Oh, or like trying to pull something out of him?
Yeah. Are you being? I guess really what I want to get at is: are you trying to be persuasive, or trying to kind of like goad him into telling you something, or how do you want to play it?
Probably the latter. He would probably be trying to goad him into saying something, but keep it conversational. If he doesn't want to say anything, it's fine.
Roll. You got points in subterfuge.
Oh God, I don't know. A little bit, yeah.
Go ahead and give me subterfuge and manipulation. With a difficulty of 2. That'll do. You hear that hum in your mind again of something thinking maybe that silence that precludes an answer, and after a minute or so you hear the voice once more. You know what? I'm feeling generous. Not the whole name. But since we're such good friends, you can call me Cal.
He'll like nod, using the book as like an eye frame for reference point.
Mm-hmm.
That puts us on a little more of an even pace. Because now, neither one of us knows each other's real name. But that's a good start. You go wherever this book goes?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, without bogging this down too much, do I have time for like an occult roll on this?
Yeah, you can give me an occult roll.
Occult and would you say that would be
Probably a mental skill. So let's go intelligence.
intelligence?
And do you have any? I don't recall. Forgive me. I only have 100 people memorized in my brain.
Yeah.
Do you have any specialties and or things that you could potentially add to this?
In this case?
Yeah.
No.
No? Okay.
Not that way.
Okay.
So nothing added to it. Difficulty, I'm just gonna put 1, see what we get.
1 will work. 3. 3's good. The presence is definitely tied to this book in some way. Hard to discern from this cursory sort of thinking about it, glancing around. The book is definitely unique, even in your occult knowledge circles. It's relatively unique, and you knew that when Dirge gave it to you. Dirge let you know a little bit about it when he made the handoff. With 3 successes, you definitely do know that this entity probably wouldn't have been able to speak to you this way without this book's presence being in this area. But beyond that, it's a little fuzzy.
All right. So, introductions are out of the way. That's good. Here's how I think we'll play this for now. We've got some shit to do tonight. We have some people to find and some people to hurt. So, for now, and he will put his gloves on.
Mm-hmm.
Very gently lift the book, carry it over to a nice circle that he has drawn on the floor in a specific thing that normally would be like maybe used for like the summoning of spirits or something of that nature. Just not an actual like statted out resistance or anything like that. But he would put it in the center of it, and it's just kind of like a ceremonial space. With like copper and silver.
Just fucking with you. Doesn't hurt.
Yeah. Put it in the center. When I come back, we'll talk again. Sound fair?
If you want to.
I think I want to. And he'll fucking leave.
Okay. Excellent. With that fun little bit out of the way, what's everybody else doing waking up? You guys got up. You, for some of you, you make your way down the stairs, elevator, shaft, however you want to get down to Braggy's room. I assume that's where you'll all gather pre-Prince meeting, if I had to guess.
Yeah, we had discussed meeting to find Braggy. Prior to this.
When Ygritte wakes up, she finds a note from Roland telling her to basically like spreadsheet all of the anomalies that his algorithm found on the city's security cameras. So she wakes up like mid-afternoon. She's going to take her time to spreadsheet all that out with what kind of anomaly, what camera, and what time, and the length of the anomaly.
Wow.
Okay.
That's what he keeps you, huh?
Spreadsheet.
Your spreadsheet is made perfectly. You are a master of Excel at this point.
See, that's why he keeps me around, not for my combat skills.
Oh.
I don't know, you're pretty quick on your feet with the whole, oh, it's a B-roll for video.
Again, that was not combat. That was bullshitting. That was
Right.
grade A bullshitting. And I totally
Right in the
forgot I
spreadsheet.
had awe that I could use on that one.
Nice.
It's a good time.
Yeah, it was awesome. I'm still impressed.
6, when you woke up this night, what were you doing?
So 6 has her own separate quarters inside the Giovanni mansion.
Mhm.
She was more or less, as soon as she woke up, she pretty much checking on contacts, seeing if there's any weird shit that happened in the past couple days.
Mhm.
I know she went and talked to Baby Chorus,
Mhm.
the sheriff's old band, kind of to offer her condolences on their loss. And she managed to pick up a microphone belonging to Damien. Hopefully to help Tony potentially get in contact with him. Not a lot when she wakes up, just pretty much checking in with everybody.
Nothing too crazy to report. But with a lot of the kind of background stuff that you have going on, both you and Antonius, you do hear faint whispers, depending on who you talk to, checking with security details, that sort of thing. Just some aspect of the discussion kind of catches your ear. And there is just this small talk about somebody made an offer for the purchasing of the cemetery. Somebody reached out with a random offer. And the people, the staff at the Giovanni Mansion, it was like one of those things where they're like, it sounds like somebody's just a crackpot, stupid idea that somebody would want to buy this cemetery. But because of the situations going on, you feel that there's probably maybe something to that.
I would probably have somebody get right on that and look into said individual or company that made this offer.
Right away. Yeah, we can.
Like phone numbers, locations, potentially.
Sure. Yeah. We'll have to go make sure it's not shredded, but we will go and try and find that offer and bring it to your attention and Mr. Giovanni's attention.
Please do.
Leon, what you doing? You wake up, free in your room.
Leon hops out of bed. Are my ghouls there with me?
Always.
Always.
Like your second and third shadows.
Mm-hmm. Sticky. She would smile at them, take like 2 large steps towards the door, and just kind of go. And then turn, open it, and just kind of run out. This is not the first time this has happened to them, nor will it be the last. I'm sure they give an exasperated sigh.
They do. Especially because when you open the door, standing in front of the doorway, your sire, Xana, looking down at you with a very perturbed gaze. And where were you going this evening?
I heard there was live music at the club, and I thought I would
Oh, I think you've had...
respectfully go enjoy it.
I believe you had enough live music this past few days. Yes, I think.
Well,
No, I think
yeah,
yes. No, I think
please.
yes.
Oh, come. Please don't lock me in here again. It's so boring.
Boring keeps you safe, dear. We must keep you safe.
Well, I should.
No.
I should. Yes. I should know about Chicago. We could be staying here for a very, very long time. Yes, I believe that is true.
You know, coming to the city, there is something that I've noticed very much from you, and that is, you seem to have found yourself a new voice, so to speak. I don't like this.
Well, as a singer, I should have many.
This is true. But you know what they say, too many voices in a room and no one can hear the chatter. So, how about this? You can go, but you decide which one of your ghouls stays forever with me.
Could we go back to the descriptor of that forever?
Oh, yes. Let me be more specific. And she kind of steps into the room and closes the door behind her. And she goes, if you don't intend to follow these rules, I know that we are far from home, and this is all a new experience for you. But I will make sure that your alone time is a lot more alone.
My thoughts exactly. That is not fair. You cannot.
Oh, my child, I can do whatever I wish to you. You are mine. Especially here, where they follow such traditions.
But
step out of line, and we'll see how far I can push these new Camarilla rules. And about that time, there's a knock on the door to a very annoyed Zana. And she turns and opens it, and you see Will, the familiar security guard that you were introduced to briefly, and have seen around Nova and the apartments occasionally with people. And he goes, "Oh, sorry to interrupt. Maggie wanted Leon, right? It's you?"
Yes.
And she wants you to go to the thing with the new kid, the new dude. And I think your friends are in the room getting ready.
Well, as you can see, I am quite busy, too busy to be having such a conversation, sweet Zana. But it seems that the three of us must go. Perhaps we can speak of this closer to night's end. Yes?
With a truly searing look and narrowed eyes, Zana looks at you and says, "Yes, I believe that we must perhaps address some things this evening, if you're not too busy." And she will kind of give a small little bow to Will, and he'll be like, "Yep," and she'll walk by and go back to her room. And the door will slam pretty loud.
The minute that door shuts, she's just like, "Oh my god, we're all gonna die." Is it so then? Let us go. And she walks out with Will.
Cool. Mercy, you are kind of leading this gathering as you are arguably the first one here.
Sure.
So please, lead.
Yeah, sure. So Mercy would awaken as usual. She has taken to dealing with Critias by actually sending him snail mail. So she's sending letters.
For the purposes of that, I want to
Yeah.
elaborate on how much he loves the post office, how much he loves letters. You are making his day by becoming his in-town pen pal. I just want you to be aware this is going to come up later.
I feel like it's digging a deeper hole.
You
but
are
also
absolutely
allowing...
sending the wrong signals, and it's gonna come to a head at some point. Yeah, 100%.
Finally, a real reason for ChatGPT.
You have no idea.
But yeah, so she instead of visiting her primogen in person, she is now sending him letters.
That was the wrong move.
Yeah.
To send him text messages and speaking entirely in emojis.
You know,
Clan stability, that'll work.
it'll be fine. It might do something for sure. So yeah, she'll wake up and pen a letter, and send it on the way. First things first, right? But that is something she does quickly, and then will again grab a couple of blood bags. She's restocked her little fridge, as it were, and will bring them with her because she's expecting at some point Braggy to be ravenous. He has not been let out. He's been offered blood, but I don't know that he really partook. And so she'll have those, and will head down. She's probably just, a little few minutes away, and go find him. So she'll start by knocking on his door. He's been mostly peaceful, but she'll wait to see if there's any response from him. But she has also sent out a text message asking everybody to meet early in his rooms or near his rooms because she didn't want him to go into this meeting with the prince blind.
Okay.
Phoenix.
Sorry, ChatGPT is just generating you a response right now.
Oh, fuck me.
This is what I do. This is what I get. Shouldn't have said nothing.
Let me just copy this and paste it into your Discord.
Oh, I'm looking forward
You
to
might not
it.
have enough characters. Unless you have Nitro.
Let's see. I don't know, maybe. It is 500 words too long. Hold on.
Okay, send it to your posts. It'll be okay.
Cut that out and paste that, and then that. There we go. Okay, yeah.
Oh my god!
That's a letter you get back on just the general. Let's see, what was the prompt that I had given that a while ago? The story.
Spot.
This is the prompt. It's a story from the perspective of an old Greek philosopher vampire pondering existence. That's the story you just got.
Great.
So enjoy.
Great.
I haven't read it, and I won't. I don't know it, so enjoy that.
Thank you.
It's too long.
There's been no proofreading of this.
Oh, it's given the vampire a name, but I'll substitute. So it's
Okay. Yeah. I wasn't super specific with it.
That's fine.
I just finally scrolled through all the pictures that were posted when I was talking to my sire. I'm in danger.
For everyone in Twitch chat, we have a very lively Discord going on the side.
Hey,
It's about to get livelier.
gift from 6, perfect. That's exactly it. That's the image I had in my head.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, excellent. I'm glad people are picking up what I'm putting down. Additionally, Mercy, just because I see that you had messaged me sooner, there are other options in that category we can discuss later, I believe.
Cool, awesome. That'd be fabulous.
Okay. Okay, where were we?
Knock, knock, knock.
Yes, knock, knock, knock. You were doing things. Okay.
I hope I got new clothes.
There have been. You look in the closet.
No, you keep your old clothes and you like it.
You look in the closet maybe a day or two after being brought there. There is a full wardrobe, suits of every different size that you could potentially be. After a day or two, in fact, you notice that the suits are all your size.
I hope there's some exercise clothes or something. Or is it all fancy suits?
There is a number of let's say higher end nightly loungewear that you could potentially put on.
You have your smoking jacket.
There is a
Maggie's
smoking
like,
jacket.
what
for
are
sure.
the kids wearing these days?
Kids?
Kids, they're wearing other kids.
Kids love gold bars, right? That's a thing. So, but to that point, there is a large variety of clothes. We'll say that they are all higher end brands and that sort of thing specifically, but you can find some relatively comfortable, like designer jeans with nice button-down shirts, that sort of thing.
Well, the reason I asked about exercise clothes specifically is because I wanted to do something funny. But if there's not some like workout clothes proper,
There would be. Let's see. What's the most expensive sweatsuit that you could buy? Whatever that would be. There's several sweatsuits that have who's a clothing brand, Versace or Dolce Gabbana. I'm not this guy. I don't know these things.
something. Braggy puts that on, and like when he wakes up, and he's just experimenting with his newfound vampiric agility, doing like flips, and as he hears the knock on the door, he goes, "Oh, come in. I'm just flipping around here."
Mercy,
Now,
wondering if this is some sort of new kind of street slang.
I'm just flipping
guys, I'm
around.
just doing flips.
Because that's the first you get immortality, and the first thing you want to do is flips.
Yeah, I mean, we all would.
I want to
Let's
point
just be
out.
honest.
I want to point out that I wouldn't describe your character as the most graceful.
Oh no, absolutely
So let's go ahead and make it fun.
Yeah, roll it.
Give me a dexterity roll. Just straight dexterity, and we'll say the modifier is 2, or the difficulty is 2. And I will let you know what you broke.
Oh,
Can I?
Nope.
Can I,
Nope.
You got nothing to add. I looked at your sheet.
oh. What was the difficulty? You said 2?
2. Oh!
whoa.
Hey! Here's how this goes. You say, hey, I'm just flipping around. Mercy, you open the door.
Mhm.
You see, mid-flip, Braggy, 2 like millimeters away from smacking into the chandelier hanging above the coffee table and potentially shattering it, but just inches, just really close. And then he comes to land not on the decorative wooden stake statue or a very pointy like wooden thing that was there, but instead lands on the floor, unscathed.
That's nice. So yeah, I guess Mercy like opens the door and sees this and is prepared fully as the more experienced vampire to be like, oh god, he's gonna hurt himself, and he lands, and she's like, oh, maybe not that, maybe not great activity for in here. Sorry. Hi. Good evening. What are you doing?
Oh, well, I had to occupy myself somehow since I've kind of been stuck in here with little else to do.
So you thought impaling yourself on sharp pieces of wood under my a theoretical care was your best course of action?
No, just seeing what I can do, flipping around. You know, just doing something. You know.
Sure. No, you know what? Absolutely. Sure. Yes. Right. Is this what having children's like? What? Why?
I wouldn't know.
Did we not think about the cost of the furniture in this room if you were to break it, or perhaps what Maggie would do to me if you died before she met you?
Well, I guess I didn't really think about that. I didn't necessarily think I would do anything outlandishly stupid, just
Oh
mildly
no,
stupid,
sure.
right?
Suddenly becoming an acrobat because you're much stronger than you used to be is not outlandish at all. That's so normal. That's
I mean, yeah, kinda. I always wanted superpowers. I just didn't think I'd get them this way. You know.
right. Yes. Okay. Well, please, perhaps have a seat. I've brought you blood, in case you're thirsty.
That's good. Eddie Hall woke up and I feel a little hungry now.
I'm sorry. Who?
Oh, you know that thing you explained to me the other day with that hunger, that beast inside, that
Yes.
thing? Yeah. To make it a little less terrifying, I decided to call it Eddie Hall. You know, the big bodybuilder dude, beast. You know.
I'm sure. Okay. Yes. Of course. Right. Yeah. Whatever works, I suppose. It's definitely helpful to normalize these things. God, I feel woefully unprepared for this. Is this what it's like to? I am thirst, and she'll offer a bag of blood to him. Yes. So you should get dressed, probably in something more formal. Not that you don't look nice or anything. Maybe a shower. Well, I mean, I guess that's very human of me, isn't it? We're gonna meet the prince.
Oh, yeah. I'll put on a suit real quick. Meeting royalty is a formal suit and tie affair, I suppose. Yeah.
You have bathed the blood and things off already.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Great. We wouldn't want you to show up to court looking like we dragged you out of a bloodbath. So, remember we told you a couple things about the prince and
How did you get your closet?
Vampires and things. We're gonna meet the prince. She's a delight. She's the most powerful vampire in the city, and she's going to decide what we're gonna do with you. So be on your best behavior. We wouldn't want to convince her that you're better off dead. That would be bad. Like I said, get dressed. The others will be here. Maybe they'll have less confused advice because they didn't catch you nearly killing yourself. I'll give you a few minutes.
Appreciate it. It shouldn't take long.
And she'll step back out into the hallway, just like, oh my god, he almost died. What the fuck?
About
He puts on the best suit he can find,
excellent.
which
It fits
something
really
in,
well, actually. Like it, like it's perfectly tailored to you almost. And about that time, the others start arriving. In whichever order you would like to arrive to the room that Braggy is being housed/caged in.
I suppose we'll arrive first. Okay. I don't know if Braggy's there. Have you seen what my character looks like? Harambe?
I can pop up the thing.
Yeah, I didn't know if you.
I don't think I have.
Boop.
Okay.
That is what Roland looks like.
So if Leonardo DiCaprio
No.
were
No. So that's what he looks like. So, and that's about what he's wearing as he's coming in. With Egret. He'll knock on the door.
Oh, well, Mercy is now standing in front of the door waiting for him to get dressed.
Oh, fantastic. Did he try to escape?
I'm sorry, I'm a little frazzled. I walked in on him,
Okay, so that's perfectly normal.
No, stop.
That's
no.
He was human recently, and it's probably a daily occurrence for him, but he probably doesn't realize he doesn't have to do that anymore.
No, that would have been easier because, I wouldn't have to have a sex talk with him. He's a grown-ass adult, but as a new kindred, he nearly impaled himself on the wooden furniture in the room, practicing his new superpowers.
I mean, I wish I... Okay, here's my question. Before I even go in there. He at least didn't flip the table over to make it easier, right?
No. No.
I mean, he's better off than some, I guess. At least he hasn't killed himself. I don't know what you want from me here.
He didn't break anything, did he?
I'm not worried about that. That's not on me. That's on him.
No, nothing looks broken. Like I said, it was very shocking for a minute to have made all these efforts to keep him alive and safe, only to see him nearly not experience this in life with us anymore. It's not usually how I spend the first parts of my evenings, and I'll admit to being a bit flustered by it. But
well, I mean, this is virgin territory for you.
There's not a lot of things you can say that about anymore. But yeah, that's what it is.
I wouldn't know, but go on. It's your first time dealing with a brand new kindred, so he's like a tiny child with strength.
I'm so sorry that I put you through this.
There it is. That's real growth.
I have so many more feelings about my experiences as a new kindred and what you all dealt with suddenly.
Well, to be fair, you're better than he was. I mean, you at least realized the fact that you needed to do something and take care of some daily your life, as it were. He's just I don't think it's set in yet.
It's a lot.
I think that's what's going to be the problem.
That's fair. He definitely he's named the beast. I've already forgotten, and
He's named it.
yes, he's given it a name. Wrestler or something. The beast. Haha.
Why?
It's not my scene. I don't.
I don't know wrestling.
But no, so he'd be less intimidated by it, I suppose.
You don't.
I took him about his blood. I told him to get dressed. I told him he'd be meeting the prince.
Around this time,
That's
Antonius
not my
and
job.
Six,
Not my job.
you guys are coming up the stairs as well.
you come up to Rolling going, not my job. Not my job.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Change the subject. Mercy or Ygritte looks at Mercy and goes, "Mercy, does this Kevlar vest make me look fat?" And she like poses funny.
Oh, it's what are the kids saying these days? It's very fetch. Didn't that movie just come out? You look great.
Stop trying to make fetch happen.
I'm not even playing Maggie right now. I have no idea what we're talking about.
Antonius walks up and says, "Yep, that's how I know I'm old now." Great.
I don't. To be fair, I'm younger than you, and I don't catch the reference.
So by the time Leon and the others get there, she's going to stop like 10 feet before getting to the door, turn to them and just kind of take their faces in her hands and goes, "I will suffer a final death before I let her hurt you." Boom.
They both look at you kind of with kind of like that, like, should we be talking about this out here kind of look, and you remember that Will is like right in front of you, and he goes, "I didn't hear shit. I don't know what's going on."
That is right, you did not.
And they just kind of nod their heads.
Anyway, is he done yet?
Well, I mean, probably. How long does it take a man to put on a suit?
Will walks up at that point.
Depends.
And says,
Depends on the suit and depends
Has he
on the
ever
man.
put on a suit before?
Will walks up at this point. And
He seemed rather poor.
Good. Gang's all here. I was sent to let you know that she's ready. Additionally,
fantastic.
Just for the purposes of what we do here, and Will hits a button on his watch, and out of one of the other stairwells nearby, 4 armed, masked, heavily armored, in body armor, very SWAT team-looking gentlemen, presumably, come walking out with high-powered assault rifles, and he goes, "They're here to help you escort the new arrival."
Right.
No chances. Fantastic.
Cool. That seems fine.
And he looks at the 4 of them and he goes, "Redhead, that's your boss tonight. I'm out." And he kind of skedaddles down the stairs.
Will, why?
Get down, Madam
Your
President.
problem. As the door closes behind him.
This is about the car. She'll look at Roland and Ygritte and go, "This is payback. The car."
I'm beginning to understand how the dynamic works here.
It might be about the car.
What else could it be about? What else have I done to deserve this? From him.
You're her. I mean.
Oh God! You think
you're her
this is
kid?
my natural responsibility?
Yeah.
Me. All right. Well, and
That's
she'll knock on the door again.
Not my job.
Braggy says,
Go ahead.
Oh, come in. Braggy says, "Just come in."
No. No.
Tony
You
will
come out.
open the door, just open it up and say, "No, sorry, friend. We're going now."
Oh, okay.
Did you drink the bag? Did you?
Oh yeah, no, he drank the bag. He put the suit on.
All right,
It's
You
a nice.
take a
As a
hold on,
note,
let's take a look at the suits.
when you drank the bag of blood, while it was nourishing and enjoyable, and everything that that delicious lemonade is on a warm summer's day, or that deliciously cold brew that you have in the fridge after a long day of work, whatever you prefer your drink of choice to be, it's everything and more. But for the purposes of mechanics, it does not remove that last dot of hunger. There is always that little buzz there. So.
Okay. Braggy
Well,
grabbed.
Roller will make sure that you're looking fine. Do the once over, fix the suit a little bit. All right.
This
Good luck.
for flavor. Oh boy.
Good luck. Don't get yourself killed.
As soon
The
as
suit
you
is a
go ahead, sorry.
the suit's a black and red suit. Something simple.
Cool. Don't get yourself killed.
Oh. All right.
Oh, we're coming with you. Come on, kid.
Yeah.
It'll
Braggy
probably be
walks out.
fine. Just be honest and don't
Get yourself
don't
killed.
tell any jokes and don't insult anybody.
In fact, speak probably as little as possible while
Mm.
answering any questions asked of you.
No pop culture references. They won't. It won't help.
Oh yeah.
No, do
No.
pop culture references, all of them.
Don't just. It will work against you. Won't put
He
it
won't
in-
do
No,
It
No,
will be
it-
bad.
No, it puts them on a different level. So
What does
Tony is
Braggy
going
see
to
as he
put his
walks out?
hand on his back and just kind of start them moving.
That's
So Braggy sees the four heavily armed gentlemen, right? Or people.
oh yeah,
yes.
oh yeah, they're kind of hard to miss.
No, what you see when you walk out, the second that you kind of exit the room, you are immediately kind of blinded as the four heavily armed gentlemen shine very high-powered flashlights on you as you are being escorted to the elevator.
Okay. Braggy goes, bright lights that I don't like. I'm not shocked here.
What?
I'm scared.
Why?
Well, I'm being escorted by four heavily armed people, along with the rest of you,
Yeah.
and I'm just being expected to not be nervous and be on my best behavior. The
Yeah.
second part I could do. First part,
Tony's
no.
You're
gonna
in
lean
fact-
over to Mercy, and she was the one put in charge, and he's gonna just say quietly, like, if you want him to, they just have to point the lights at his feet. That's good enough.
Oh, that is. She'll more quietly than that. Oh, that's good news. Fellows, perhaps just his feet, so we can see. He can see.
Without
it'll be
saying a word, the flashlights tilt down.
Oh,
Do
thank
I
you.
see any like security like labels on here? I like these guys.
Are you seeing if you can hire them?
You do see a very familiar logo. It is Will's security team, specifically the
Excellent.
company that he had before he started working full time for Maggie. These are his guys.
Nice, very nice. Okay.
Yeah, you remember those guys from your
Oh,
game.
yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you guys make your way down the hallway. The entire time, the four gentlemen are kind of like in a square formation around him, so that the lights kind of crisscross in an X, kind of hitting all angles, so that there are no shadows. And getting to the elevator, you all know that it is large enough to accommodate all of you. The four armed gentlemen following you guys and ladies, and also Braggy. Braggy is made to stand in the middle of the elevator while one of the guards is in each corner, maintaining that crisscross formation as you ride the elevator up.
Okay.
So, the elevator doors open. Braggy. Immediately, the first thing that you see is a... let me go ahead and pop this on over. Nope, wrong mansion. Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Yep. You see a very lavish, large penthouse suite. Very large, thick windows address one side, and you see a beautiful skyline of Chicago. The room is wide, but it's more long than it is wide. It's not a square; it's more of a rectangle. And in the very back of it, you see, kind of on a raised platform, you see a large stone desk and for lack of a better term, a stone throne that sits behind it. And at the throne is a very petite, young looking woman. Sitting, she looks pretty short. But you do see the prince, Magdalena Masters. Not in this outfit per se. She's in a more formal, kind of black dress. Nothing elaborate or fancy, but it does look, very nice. That is less your concern, as before the desk, on the floor, on the lower portion, not up on the raised dais, there is a large square of plastic sheeting, and the 4 guards that are escorting you, you feel the 2 behind you kind of push your back out. And as you all make your way out, they instruct you, Braggy, to stand in the middle of this large plastic painter's tarp, this kind of thick protective barrier. And then 2 of the gentlemen behind you also will put their hands on each of your shoulders and kind of push down on you to get you to kneel down.
Braggy complies. Not even going to put up a fight or anything. He just complies.
Excellent. The second that you kneel down, some lights in the ceiling shine down on you in the similar crisscross pattern. And the 4 guards turn in a very military formation kind of style at Mercy, and they go, you hear kind of like through almost an intercom that they're speaking through. It's not their voice per se, but you hear, prisoners secure. Is there anything else?
That'll be all for now. Please wait outside for escort back.
We were instructed not to stay.
Okay then, see you later.
And they all make their way back to the elevator. And the whole time, the presumed Prince, Braggy, is sitting behind the desk in the stone throne, motionless, kind of looking out at the room, kind of out at everything, but not directly at you. And the elevator dings, the 4 armed guards descend, and it is in that moment that the prince first speaks and says, "What is your assessment, my dear daughter?"
Mercy will just step a little bit forward and give her a polite curtsy and greeting. She often does this. Just say, it would seem he was created against his will. We believe we know his sire was the woman that we ran into not so many nights ago. As far as his demeanor, he seems polite, very human, childish. He doesn't seem to pose any threat beyond his newness to his nature, as far as I can tell.
She pauses for a brief moment and then looks at you, Antonius, and says, Antonius, my dear friend, your assessment, please.
Well, Prince, and he'll bow. You know that I'm paranoid. And he looks down at Braggy on his knees. Threat assessment is relatively low. The only thing I could think of that could be a potential problem is if his sire did some form of submerged directive. No signs of that yet, until we have verification of any of that. Poor kid seems genuine.
At this, Maggie steps up and she comes around to the front of the desk. She gets a little bit closer to you. Now that you see her standing, she's about 5'2", 5'3". Short in stature. Without turning her head, she looks at you. Her eyes just kind of go down to you, kneeling on the floor. But without turning her head, she goes, Fee, your report, please. And from the side of the room, you see another woman come out of a small office, presumably, with a file folder. Antonius, you are familiar with these file folders. They are a lovely crimson color, and you've gotten a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
She holds the file folder in her hands and opens it up, and without looking at you, she takes the glasses that she has and she puts them on her eyes, though she doesn't really need to. It's more of a habit. And she goes, Name, Bragi Gana. Ist missing presumed dead. And she kind of rambles off the news story about your death. She goes into detail about your physical features, your height, your weight, your race, while you were alive. And then she gets to a point in the file and she goes, Wife, Ivo, and no children to speak of. Presumed La Sombra. That is my assessment. And Maggie goes, Thank you, Fee. That should be all. And she kind of gives a little nod and Fee goes back in. Then the prince comes a little bit closer to you. And she reaches down with her dainty little hand. And she grabs the front of your suit and with no effort in any regard lifts you up off your feet and holds you like an inch off the floor just because of size and height. An inch is about all she's got. But you're just dangling there as if you were hanging by some sort of like climbing harness. You are suspended in the air. And she goes, And you, Braggy, Gana, what is your assessment?
My assessment on myself? You mean, Prince?
I mean, tell me why you should live.
Understood. I don't know who this what was their name? Claymore? I don't know who this Claymore is or what they want, But I do know that if you allow me to live, I will do whatever is within my power to stop this threat that Claymore and others associated with them pose. There's some sort of hierarchy I've gathered. You're at the top. You want to stay there? I will help you remain there. No problem. No questions asked.
The prince, looking up at you, says, "There is nothing that you can offer me that I can't take for myself. Everything that you have said to me is an attempt to placate my sensibilities. Let me rephrase my question with the information given to you that I have no sensibilities to placate to. There is no pandering to be done to me. You need to explain to me why you deserve to live when your sire murdered my sheriff."
Braggy thinks for a moment, looking directly at Prince Masters, and says, I didn't know that my sire did that. I was awoken in a crypt with this strange claymore and a whole lot of dead bodies. I had nothing to do with the death of your sheriff, and I am truly sorry that happened. Allow me to live, and I will right the wrongs of my sire, however I am able.
You can bring back the dead. This is interesting. Antonius, I don't recall you mentioning him being a necromancer.
Kid's not. I think he's still just trying to figure out how to do the right thing.
Roland,
Yes. Yes, my prince.
do you think he knows how to do the right thing?
I honestly couldn't tell you. What I think he wants to do is to figure out what's going on, but I'm not sure he understands the depth or scope of what he's involved in. He seems to be a funny person. I don't think he's taking it as seriously as he should, or as much as he needs to. But I don't believe him to be. I believe he wants to do the right thing.
Leon, you're relatively new here. I asked you to
Yes.
participate in this introduction for one reason.
Hmm.
You are familiar with what it is to be under the thumb of a sire that wants you to do things you don't want to do. How
I
much
don't know if you. That seems a bit overly familiar with my situation.
Let me rephrase. If your sire commanded you to do something that went against your moral character, how much of your will would you need to withstand that tide?
More than I had.
Thank you for your honesty. 6. I've seen you perform some interesting, let's say, feats of marksmanship. Between you, Antonius, I feel that the threat posed by this little Asambra is small. Do you agree?
We'll look down at the newbie.
Up.
And
You'll be looking up. He's still up in the air.
look. Oh, he's up in the air. Oh
Still,
no.
still up in
Okay.
the air, yeah.
Oh dear. Okay.
Sorry.
I believe the kid is going to need a little bit of work. But naturally he seems to have a good head on his shoulders. But right now, at the moment, the threat level is fairly low until proven otherwise.
Good.
If I may play devil's advocate,
Please.
the young one himself might not be a threat, or moreover, he might not mean any threat. But this is complex, no? The enemy we face could have plans within plans, and honestly, I think her own devices prove what she's capable of. Corpses filled with bombs? What if this young one contains something far worse?
That's a
So
fair
you
point.
mean to say that they turned him or embraced him because they kind of figured we would pick him up like some kind of lost puppy?
It is exactly what we did.
That's a fair point.
No offense, puppy.
Shall we crack him open and see?
Braggy starts looking really nervous, like he's about to be cracked open like a walnut, and he quietly says, "Please don't do that."
Oh,
Well,
no, it would be more like a pistachio.
let's let someone
I
who
believe if
was
you
hurt by you or sire decide that. And the prince turns her head to you, Ygritte, and says, Will has told me a great deal about the injuries you sustained. Do you feel that it would be appropriate to return the pain to this one here? Do you hold him responsible for what happened to you?
I don't hold him responsible, Your Grace. With him being so close to humanity still, he doesn't seem like the type that would be knowingly involved in hurting others. And quite honestly, it was my own rash behavior that led to my injuries. I don't think hurting him will mean anything to his sire. seeing the injuries that she caused to Mercy and seeing what she did so carelessly to those corpses. I don't think she gives any care to what happens to him. I think he was to draw us in. He was bait.
I do have something more now that I've thought on what Egret said, if I may.
Yes, dear.
She called the zombies toys before she blew them up. And with what Egret's just said, I do have to wonder if, despite him meaning little to them, because clearly their toys are meant to be broken, if he does have some sort of plan in place for him. And if that is the case, if there is something we can do that we can use him for in that way. If he is another toy in their game, then he may prove useful in finding them.
If I may.
They seem to like to watch.
If I may.
Yes, Roland?
Braggy, when you said you awoke and she was in front of you, correct?
Not in front of me.
She
It was
appeared in
more
front of you?
after somewhat toying with me in conversation, yes.
Okay. What did she say? We never touched on this.
Something to the effect of she had plans for me.
Okay.
As if I was a pawn in some bigger game, but I don't know anything about those plans. Almost like I was, in fact, created with a purpose that, to Mercy's point, can be turned against these threats.
Did she mention anything about why you?
No. I was just an attempt.
An attempt for what? Nothing?
Best guess.
So you were an experiment?
Basically, yeah. That's what I gathered.
So...
They might be making more.
So she basically grabbed a bunch of people and survival of the fittest them. So you were the last one standing.
That is the Sabbat way.
And then you... Did you notice he wasn't hungry?
Yeah. The night that I offered, the first night that we found him, and the second night that we spoke with him, both times I offered him blood, and he had very little interest.
So...
In fact, the first night he didn't.
Question. Can Auspex still discover Diablerie?
You read my fucking mind.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Cool. I'm using heightened senses on it.
On him?
I'm
Or
using
just in general for the
I'm using
scene?
heightened senses and seeing if he has Diablerie streaks.
Are you
Okay.
using a power in the Princess Elysium?
Oh wait, no, sorry. Rewind a second. Prince, may I scan? Prince, may I scan to see if my hunch is correct?
Absolutely, dear.
Fantastic. I'm going to scan. I'm going to try and see his aura.
Okay. Does that require rouse to do that, or is that just
No, that's just a.
Okay. With you switching that on, looking for signs of diablerie specifically, you see very noticeably black streaks in Maggie.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I know where that's from.
Very dark, very deep black streaks.
Yeah, I was there.
For
We're not talking about that.
For your Lasombra friend, his aura is spotless.
There is no streaks on him.
I'm sorry, streaks?
When a vampire drains another vampire completely and utterly, taking their soul, it leaves a stain on them. What is known as streaks.
Mercy Perry pointedly does not look at Maggie for a moment. It's like, it's fine, right?
Leon kind of leans towards Bragi a little bit. They're talking about cannibalism, puppy.
You're such a bitch, and I love it. And that's
started something. Son of a fucking puppy.
So he doesn't have them, so that rules out that. I mean, with that being stated, they could still be trying to do turn a bunch, fight them, turn a bunch, fight them, turn a bunch, and then eventually create a big, nasty.
Was the mausoleum still locked when we arrived?
We didn't get that far.
Did we simply break the door down?
Yes.
You did, but there was no resistance, like it had been unlocked.
Tony would say as much because he's the one that kicked the door in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then she wasn't confining him. She wanted him loose and hungry, although he wasn't. He could have made a scene larger than I did.
At this point, the prince lowers you down, Braggy, onto the plastic tarp. And she goes, "Sit back down, dear."
Braggy sits.
It seems like there's been a lot of talk of toys, games, and I feel like we are playing at a disadvantage. We're down a piece. We need a sheriff. I've made a call. And according to my very old and stylish Rolex, it's just about that time. And when Maggie says this, the elevator door dings. And that's where we're going to go to break. And when I transition here, I will see if our guest is ready. Be back in 10 minutes. Okay.
Oh, fantastic.
So as we return, the elevator doors open after Maggie saying that she made a call. The call that she made, presumably, was to somebody who she felt would be loyal and embody a good sheriff for Chicago. Victoria, though you haven't been with us in this chronicle, you have been with some of this group in other chronicles. As the doors to the penthouse apartment that Maggie calls the throne room
Wow.
comes into focus. You see a group of people standing up near the throne, per se, of where Maggie sits, and a person on some plastic sheeting, like a painter's tarp, on the floor, kneeling on that, with lights shining down upon them. Now, because you are who you are, how would you like to enter this scene?
Is anybody? I was opening my character sheet, so I only got the last half of that. Is anybody sitting in like the main Maggie's main
in
chair?
Maggie's throne? No, Maggie is currently down on the tarp near the kneeling figure, and no one is occupying the seat.
I would absolutely go in, like with the. Is it celerity?
Yes.
It's been a while.
Yep.
And go and sit in her chair and start spinning around.
Okay, it is a stone throne. It does not spin. However, what the group sees as the elevator doors
Fantastic.
ding, you all kind of instinctually turn to look at the elevator. What you see is an empty elevator.
I just say boo. Boo, mother.
Oh, yes. I've missed you so much, my daughter. You are a delight as always. Thank you for coming home on short notice. I trust that our work elsewhere is being accomplished.
Yes. Yes. I've learned a lot.
You don't have to do the stereotypical vampire things. You can talk normally. No one needs you to play it up.
I mean, I've been learning with some other Bano Akeem, and I've picked up a couple new tricks.
Delightful.
Yeah. And but heard you were missing me, so decided I would come back.
You get the exasperated kind of exhalation laugh from Maggie. The just sigh laugh.
I'm just looking at my fingernails.
Oh, well, yes. This is lovely. Perfect timing, as we were deciding if this one here should die or not. He was embraced much as you were, and your sister Mercy. Sired without permission, without purpose. I think it would be a good first duty of yours to decide the fate of this creature as the new sheriff.
They were sired just without their permission.
Yes.
Then do we know who sired them?
Mm-hmm.
Then this wasn't this person's fault, much like it wasn't for me. I have a soft spot.
Yes, as I imagine your sister
I
does
more
as
want
well.
to go find the person who made them without permission.
I don't particularly recommend that yet, although I'm not sure what you've been up to lately, but I had a very close and personal experience with her, and I would not recommend the same to anybody else.
Cool.
What would you recommend, Sheriff of Chicago?
Well, I definitely I recommend sparing. I will always recommend sparing for people made against their will.
Interesting. Mercy, my other daughter. What do you recommend in this situation?
And she'll look at Victoria, who's sprawled beautifully across the throne, and then at Braggy, and will say, having been recently sired in a similar fashion, I can't advocate for his death, but given the circumstances of this, different than mine, where my life was forfeit before this unlife. This was done with intention that is concerning, and I think it suits us best to keep him alive and close. Not just because he is a new kindred, and so a danger to our masquerade, but because I think we don't have a much better way of finding this six without some sort of. And she looks again at Braggy and kind of shrugs and says, bargaining chip, allure. I think he serves a purpose to us because they have plans in our city, in your city.
You can say our.
I don't mean to presume.
We have a little bit of family business going on these days. But I agree. I think that keeping him alive suits our plans for the future. She looks down at you again, Braggy. Did these people, kindred here, fill you in on how kindred society works when it comes to sires and children?
I got a brief introduction, if I recall. There was a lot to go over as far as all the starting points, but I suppose I could use some more elaboration on the specifics.
Excellent. Let me provide to you a scenario. When I came to this city many years ago, I had just fled from London. London had been overrun and had fallen as a kindred safe haven. I was welcomed into Chicago's Camarilla Society, and as part of my proving myself, one of the first things I did in my time here was vouched for that one, and she will turn and point at the woman sitting in the chair. I made a plea to the former prince that she should be spared a final death because it was not her fault that she was made. The former prince agreed, and thus I became her surrogate sire. When it comes to the children created through the process of siring, there is one rule that you must follow as the child. You are your sire's property, in law, in kindred society, until they release you, or you violently overthrow them. I was fortunate enough to have been blessed with a second child that I had not planned for. That one there.
Ooh.
And she gestures at Mercy. However, I've become very busy, and I'm not running an orphanage. And my first daughter will be so preoccupied with her duties as sheriff now that crime is on the rise in Kindred Society because of the news of Sheriff Damien's passing. Things have gone a little haywire. That will have to be dealt with. I'll have Fee fill you in on the details. But I believe I've come to a conclusion. Maggie looks down at you, Mercy. A small smile spreading across her face.
Tony goes, oh.
Mercy Grace Masters. Please, come forward.
You muted, sorry.
Mercy will step forward.
As
Rolling on the shoulder.
as prince of this city, and as sire to you, I place in your care this one braggy Gunnar. You, my dear daughter, will learn and teach this young one as I have you. I think it will be a good experience for you both.
I'm sure that I look forward to it. So, look at Braggy. Tony, I may need some crash courses in the song.
After that, after Maggie formally making Mercy your surrogate sire and thus your owner / mother, in a weird, interesting kindred sort of way, she looks down at you and she grabs you by that same spot on your shirt and raises you to your feet. And she says, if you do anything to harm your surrogate sire, you will be murdered. I will do it myself. Because not only will you be going against kindred law, but you will also be harming my daughter. Do you understand this?
Yes, Prince Masters. I understand completely.
Additionally, any loyalties disregarding some potentially mind-controlling type down the line that you may have towards your actual sire no longer apply here. You are a La Sombra of the Camarilla. More importantly, you're my grandson, and we don't kneel for anyone. Now, I'm sure you'll have some catching up to do. Please, feel free to use my home as your place of meeting.
Leon looks at Braggy and just goes, pauvre chien, and giggles a little bit.
Get out of my chair, Victoria. please.
Sister, I have
Mouth is
missed
covered.
you.
Victoria sighs and stands up.
We thought Mercy was bad, and then we met Victoria.
Rocky, you're not better for being in this family. I want you to know that.
I wouldn't necessarily think that I would act that in such a way. I would like to be courteous to everyone if possible.
That's not what I'm saying.
Oh. Well, I'm a little confused on what you're saying.
Oh,
then.
c'est pas
I'm saying you're not better for being in the family that you just got nominated into.
Well, what's the matter, Roland? You don't think being a Masters has any benefit to it?
I
Tony
didn't
will
say
walk
that.
away.
Oh no. I want to be very
Walk away
clear
from
about some
Roland.
things. No. I want to be very clear about some things. It has its benefits, but don't think you're better off just because you happen to be in the Masters clan.
Yes, I'm slowly creating my own personal army of adoptees and disregarded children. It's wonderful. Victoria, if I may have a moment of your time, the project that you were working on, how's that going?
Well, I learned a lot of stuff over there, and was it okay to speak freely about the other?
I believe so, yes.
Still trying to find some remnants about all of London, but it's been hard hunting.
Any word on Cyril?
I don't believe so.
For reference, I didn't give you notes on that because you don't have any notes for that. Yeah. Understandable. Well, that project will have to be put on hold anyway. So, in the meantime, you know the resources that you are accustomed to here. They have grown considerably since the last time you were in town. I would caution you all to call on the new sheriff. She will be busy and thus cannot be another wheel on this bus.
Short bus. Of course.
Up in here. I take it it's gotten very busy for a sheriff here.
Well,
You're gonna have to brief me on everything that's...
Yes. I will happily have Fee fill you in on the details of the more day-to-day issues that you're going to have to deal with.
I have a painting actually of the kindred that I was hoping it would serve as a better idea than I can paint with my words of what she looks like.
Oh, you painted as a mugshot? Excellent.
When you say it that way, I feel silly about it.
No, I'm here for this.
It's like a police sketch artist.
But
excellent.
sketching's not my strong suit, so it's painted.
Go ahead and make that roll we talked about of, let's say, craft dexterity with your additional die for paintings and things.
Sure.
With a difficulty of 1.
Beautiful.
You got a pretty good luck. It's good you got a really good look.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing I got a good look.
Though a little bit of a there's some erratic brushstrokes here and there. The general gist
Scary.
gets shown through as you see this kind of figure painted before you all. At seeing this, Magdalena grabs the painting from your hands and she looks at it very detailed. I know this woman.
Oh shit.
That's concerning.
Oh,
This is the one that made you.
yes, Prince Masters.
And her name is Claymore.
Yes.
You see Maggie close her eyes. And when she opens them again, they are a bright and shining red, giving off even like a dull light to them. And as she looks down at this painting, you hear her voice a little different now go, "Yeah, that's her." And she kind of blinks away for a moment. Ah, okay. That's beginning to make sense now. Do the ones of you here, when I took the throne, recall the person that I consumed before I took the throne, his little group of misfits and misbegottens?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Seven Fires, they were called. And now we have a group called the Six.
That seems a coincidence that is a bit too likely.
Coincidentally.
Picture perfect.
True. Additionally, the memories that float around in here occasionally have reminded me of this person. Though they are foggy and they are vague. It is not like recalling one's own memories. It rather, is definitely one of the Seven Fires. More specifically, I believe she was the third.
Forgive me, but if she is the third, is that is there a system to this naming, or is it simply a name?
That is a great question, Mercy. I don't presume, despite the fact that they are all in here, to understand the delusional machinations of William Gould's mind.
Of course.
However, I would regard this one with a great amount of caution. And as this conversation is going on, you see come out of the office again Fee, whom, Victoria, you have never met, but this is a person from Maggie's past who is kind of the new right hand to the prince sort of position, the new seneschal. And she's been taking care of things. She sees you, having not been here when she came out the first time, and goes, "Miss Victoria, I've heard much about you."
Good things, I hope.
She looks at the papers in her hands. Yeah, sehr gut. But she then brings a file folder out, and she opens it up, and it has bits and pieces about Braggy in it. And she holds her gloved hand out to you, Mercy, to take the picture, or out to Maggie to take this picture that you painted. And she slides it into the file folder, closes it, and hands it to Antonius. And it says Claymore the Third, much like this in the new the Six Harbingers tab under known enemies of the Camarilla. Up a little bit higher. Sire of Braggy is quickly jotted down on it, and she says, "This will be your problem now. All of your problem." And then she will look to Victoria and say, "When you have a minute, dear, I have all the files that you will need."
Okay. I will go with her to use one of my skills to go through the files.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Go ahead and give me, I believe that's a rouse check for that. Do you remember how to rouse?
Let me see if I can.
Oh, baby, I'm sure she's a professional rouser.
Oh no!
There's a new button down under your hunger.
Oh yeah, it's tiny.
Yep. Hey.
You don't get hungrier, fortunately. What happens is, well, if you want to describe it, you enter into the office with Fee. She shows you the files that you need to look at, and go ahead and describe this power.
I can basically go through all of the files within a matter of seconds. Whether or not I'll remember everything, but I can go through it all, read it all within seconds. And I already am super fast anyway, so I can catch up quick.
To everyone else's perspective, what happens is you see Victoria do kind of her silly little walk into the office, and then 15 seconds later, she comes strolling out, whistling and having read every file that she needed to.
That's a neat trick. Would you teach me?
Something I picked up over in the Middle East.
Seems quite useful.
Well, on top of this, and he holds up the folder, we know that she's working with at least one other. A necromancer. Beyond that.
A necromancer with a proclivity for crafting or perhaps explosives, some sort of
the
engineering.
C4 skeletons.
6 is going to look at Roland. Do you remember that house of Shovel? And we had that guy. This was back when I was a ghoul.
Was that the one where we found the symbols by the college?
I think so.
Yeah, I have vague recollection of it.
Do you remember that guy that showed up and absolutely fucking wrecked me? Like, just kept popping in and out of. Played a lot of tricks, and he had this weird ability to literally draw blood from me without ever.
Was he the one that was flying?
Maybe that. Yeah.
Tony wasn't there. That was totally that guy. Yes.
Yeah.
The one that we had tried to shoot out of the air.
Is he? Wasn't he one of the fire?
I don't remember him saying anything of that nature, but could be. Like I honestly don't. That was like, that was a little chaotic.
Ancient storyteller thing. If everybody remembers, that was the one fight that Punk was here for.
Yeah.
Stupid bicycle trick.
Yeah.
The bike that he stole from Kessler.
Yep.
Ding ding. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I remember. I don't remember if he said he was part of it or not. So
I think he was very quiet. I don't think he spoke a lot. I think he was a specter almost except for when he was attacking us.
Yeah, he would move the walls, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
And there was something about, I remember somebody shot something out of his hand in order to try and make him fall, or knock something out of his hand. Stop it. I'm being harassed. But yeah, that we couldn't hit him, but we were able to hit some of the things in his hands, and that is what set him off.
That definitely sounds like blood sorcery. If it knows blood sorcery and necromancy, we got a little bit of a monster on our hands. But
because ever since then, I haven't heard a damn peep out of that guy. No. Haven't heard anything about him.
Which, with our luck, that means they've been busy and working the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. We've been biding his time, and he's gonna pop up, and they're gonna be working together and create some sort of abomination that we have to fight. Because let's do that now.
That would follow with what Claymore said to me.
Yeah, we've been through a lot.
With his, she was there to watch his toys. If this is something he
specifically, so
that's what she
toys,
said.
Indeed, yes.
Theories adding up. Could be, or it could be another male that we haven't met yet.
It is certainly something to consider that there
part
is
when you guys just go off on your own tangents. I just listen. It's fun.
Yeah, wait, are we giving you ideas? Hold on, everybody stop talking.
No, what? No, not at all.
I do actually have something if everybody's okay.
100%, he's right.
It's this might actually be most effective for both the prince being witness and our new sheriff. With permission, Six, do you still have that microphone?
I do.
O'Neill, take it as it's passed over and say, does anyone want to have, and again, I'm asking permission, would anyone like to have last words with the old sheriff? I haven't actually summoned the ghost of a kindred before, but this would be a hell of a first try.
Is it possible?
It's possible, but that spirit has to be willing. And of course, I would need permission to do such things in the prince's chambers.
Maggie looks down at you and she goes, Antonius, I think we've been friends long enough that you should know if you need to do something, I would much rather you do it and ask for forgiveness than permission.
It's hard not to be polite to you.
I mean,
I've seen the consequences, and he looks at Victoria.
I was about to say, that's what I do.
And so,
I mean, we could ask him questions, but would he have any of the answers that we would want?
half of it might be for us, or half of it might be for us finding out the answers, but There's also the matter of if you need to or want to, saying goodbye. My clan takes death seriously.
I certainly didn't know him in any such way that I feel that my goodbyes would be wanted, but I know that some of us here certainly did. And if this is an opportunity to do both, ask questions about his final death and thank him for his efforts, I would be quite interested in such things. If nothing else, I know he served Maggie well, and if he had not been involved in our last adventure, I don't know that our city would be what it is. Our prince would be who she is.
Well,
Now that the mood's turned from a trial to more of a gathering and meeting, Yeager like sinks back into a couch.
She did say to use her home as your own, so I mean, in fairness.
well, in that case, Tony's gonna like in a situation like in a space that would be within viewing range of Maggie's throne. So if she wanted to sit on it while this guy appeared, she could be seen that way.
Okay.
He's gonna pull a few things out of a little bag, a couple of candles. It's the microphone.
Is this summon spirit?
Yep.
Okay.
This is exactly that. The microphone pulls out a little old faded envelope, opens it, and it's a little photograph of baby chorus, Damien's band playing at when they played at Nova. And he's gonna spend some time put a little bit of his blood on the microphone, sit down, start calling out for a spirit to show up.
Yeager's gonna kind of quietly call out, "Yo, Bragi, you don't have to stand in the middle of the room anymore, dude.
Oh,
Come sit
right.
down."
When Bragi
Right.
starts to move, Mercy will come to his side.
Oh no.
Get to the sideshow.
She's a hovering. She's a helicopter parent.
Not exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And
So quick.
very quietly to him while Antonius is working, she will say, "It was my saving grace that my sire spent every effort to keep me alive when I was a new kindred. And I will do that for you. But you should know that if you pull any tricks, or if you run away, that it will be my hand that hunts you down and kills you. So,
Yes, do not be a bad issue.
and if I have to hunt you down, it will not be a pretty final death that you meet." But
Fair enough.
But the sun will be shining.
It's fun because I think Maggie had that same talk with both Victoria and Mercy.
No, yeah, I will fight for you tooth and nail until my final unlife.
Mercy's just
Unless
like,
you
oh
go out
god,
of the
I'm
way,
turning
then I will be
into
your
a
doom. Absolutely. And then she goes back to what she was doing. You're free to roam about the cabin, as it were.
And for
Right.
Matt's bookkeeping purposes, I needed it to get that to work. At least on my end. If the other side wants to do whatever it wants, it can. On my side.
Understandable. Because of the fetter that you were able to acquire, the ritual happens as planned. Looking at the description of the summoned spirit, it is less like a hovering ghost in the middle of the room and more like shadows on the wall. The room dims, and for a moment you wonder, those of you who are not Antonius and Six, you wonder if this is a braggy thing. But it's not. The shadows appear, the shadow, singular, appears kind of on the floor in the space at which the fetter was placed. And you do hear words, but they're low and unintelligible at first.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you wanted to ask specifically?
Are you okay on the other side?
Kind of in that echoey, kind of haunting sort of way, you hear the, I'm better here. And it's got that similar tone to Damien's voice that you recall.
Said I met her here?
Better.
I'm better here. Good. Is there anything you can tell us to help find the one that did this to you, or her allies? Anything that you knew?
The shadow gets kind of agitated at bringing it up. Kind of shows a little displeasure, but it does continue to speak. I'm not going to do the wavy voice because it hurts my throat. So
Fair. That's fine.
It says essentially, two that I saw, two that I dealt with. She struck the final blow. Her name is misleading.
Dealt with how?
So to be clear, it is not just me that can say things. The spirit is just here.
That's terrifying. Mercy doesn't know that. She says dealt with how, and if it answers her, she may be a little perturbed, but that's okay.
That's Matt.
It's great.
You say dealt with how?
Mm-hmm.
And the specter gets very agitated. Tony, you're very familiar with this. You know that this is like this trauma is affecting the connection, so to speak. Don't trust is all you get.
We've got it from here. Thank you. We know what we're doing. There is a new sheriff. Maggie is strong.
Goodbye, Damien.
And very much in the same kind of wavy voice, but fading out as you say your goodbyes. You hear, rock on.
And ceremonially, Antonius is going to lean over. And the thing isn't powered at all. But it's one of those like wireless mic. He's going to click it from power on position to power off for the last time. And just kind of let him go.
You're not compelling him to stay, forcing him into
not
servitude.
even a little.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody I like less.
That's fair. That is remarkably fair. The ceremony completes, and the prince, sitting on her very overly opulent throne, kind of looks out over all of you. And she says, whatever this remaining group of creatures has planned, I want to make sure that you're all aware. Some of you, and with that she looks specifically at Tony, understand the patience and planning that age will bring. I would encourage you all not to act rashly when dealing with this threat, because it is likely that whatever is about to come in this war has been building for some time.
War never changes.
True.
Leon kind of slowly raises her hand.
Yes, dear.
Prince, might I bend your ear for a moment?
Speak
Perhaps
freely.
ask you a theoretical question. You have taken in this pauvre chou, and I was wondering if perhaps someone who created a childer in your territory, would that child gain protections from you? Even from their lineage?
Maggie contemplates your question for a moment. And she then looks to your two ghouls that are in the room. And she will say, Ms. Leon, I would caution you that while you are a guest in this territory, and perhaps a long-term member of this Camarilla city, at this time I'm not allowing anyone to lawfully create childer. However, if harm were to come to people, kindred or otherwise, in my protection, there would be consequences. And while the Camarilla and kindred overall have historically, we'll say, not been very accepting of those deemed lesser, under my reign, certain ghouls and assistants to kindred alike, mortal even, have been given these protections. For example, Ygritte here, sinking into my fine leather couch, is under such protection. Would you like the same for your companions?
Yes, please. Please.
Do you believe that harm is imminent to you or your companions here in my Elysium?
I do.
I will make a point to have a conversation with other guests. I will remind you that in Elysium, even so much as me smacking the back of my child's head would be considered an offense were I not the prince. Victoria, come here for a
You would
moment.
smack me on the head. Who would you?
Nevertheless, there will be no harm to any kindred or ghoul under this roof, or any roof that is mine, or consequences will follow. And I will make sure that all of my guests here are aware of this. Does this suffice for now?
Triple.
Very good. In that case, if there is no more official business to discuss, I'm very busy. My loving first daughter is in town, and I would like a moment alone with my 2 daughters.
Say no more.
Antonius, please keep an eye on Braggy, help him adjust. 6, if he steps out of line or hurts Mercy in any way, I expect you to put several bullets between his eyes.
Fair enough.
Braggy,
Yes.
my sweet grandbaby boy, I want to make it perfectly clear that right now is a probationary period. Until you prove otherwise, I will assume that you are not with the enemy. The second that assumption becomes anything different, you cease to exist. Do you understand?
Yes, Prince Masters.
Furthermore, I understand that this situation is odd. It is a bit strange. You are an adopted child to another creature of the night. It is a very complicated and interesting scenario that you find yourself in. There are rules that you must follow as the role that you now hold. However, if you willingly lead her into harm, I will find everyone that you have ever interacted with, from your kindergarten teacher to the barista that you last saw, and I will murder every one of them, so that not even a memory of you remains, and you will be truly dead. Do you understand?
Yes, Prince Masters.
Good. I'm glad we agree. Now, out, except for Mercy and Victoria. You two stay.
And everybody
Trot,
takes
trot, trot, trot.
on the way out the door.
Leon
Pointedly passes the microphone to Roland.
leaves the
Oh.
room, hugging
I'll use
both Solon and Lynette.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Okay.
I'll use it. Well,
Good.
For the purposes
That's what he'd
of
want.
this next conversation, everyone can hear it. It's not incredibly private. But your characters don't really know what was said, unless it is elaborated on by Mercy or Victoria. When everyone leaves the room, Maggie will outstretch her arms in a sincere manner to hug both of you. And she will say, "Though I know I can be very difficult, sire, at times, I appreciate both of your efforts, despite your better natures, to do as I ask. From the simplest of tasks to the larger ones, it is very appreciated. However, you must know that there may come a time where you don't want to listen to me. And if that time should come, I am perfectly willing to give you your freedom. Though I feel that I've given you ample leash, if you would like to describe it as such now."
I find your leash a delightful accessory to many outfits. It stands as canon. The laughter is not.
You know, I will die for you. There's no question. Don't be silly. This is what I want. I joke, but we will find this nun reject from the movie. Well, I'll show that one to you too.
I don't want to watch any more of your movies.
Oh, the new
But
nun
there's
one
so
could be really
many.
relevant. You've seen, Victoria, you've seen the nun.
There's a whole list of movies that I wish I had never seen. Well, the one with the small
It's been on
wizard
for a long
boy,
time.
I don't know what that was even about. There was a big snake in one. It was stupid. Nevertheless, despite my best efforts,
You liked Queen of the Damned.
the music was particularly good. Yes. Despite my best efforts, and despite my ever-shriveling heart, I have become attached to you both. For better or worse, you will always be masters to me. This target that puts on your back, however, may not be something you always desire. Victoria, I know from the moment that I took you in, your desire has always been for justice. It's your preferred
I had it before
food.
I was turned. It's
This is
only
true.
gotten stronger.
I just want to make you both aware that this city is going to get a lot more bloody before it gets less bloody. And while, Victoria, you have made ties elsewhere which allow you to leave, and you have the capabilities to do so, I want you both to be aware that you have my full support and resources to do whatever you wish, should that be to leave Chicago permanently and forget your dear mother, who looked after you when no one else would, and didn't let you
Threatened to
get
kill us if we
murdered.
stepped a toe out of line.
I never would have killed
Oh,
you.
no. There's a new sheriff in town.
I'm regretting my decision already. I do hope that you will find your place here, Victoria. I know that the city was bigger than you had hoped it would be, and now that you've returned, I pray that it is... Well, I never pray, but I hope that it is an ample place for you to sate your desires. Mercy, I apologize for giving you the burden of children. However,
If it is, please.
if he steps out of line, you have permission to kill him.
Well, I threatened as much, but I don't have plans of.
I'm sure your sister would help. It could be a family affair.
Oh, it would be a delightful time. Not that he could get away from her.
I don't know that I could get away from her. Believe me, I've tried. I sent her to Saudi Arabia and she returned to me. It's like a boomerang with turds on it.
I'll always be back, baby.
You know, now that you're back, though, we really should see if we could get Sweeney Todd. I think Maggie would enjoy that.
What's a Sweeney Todd?
It's great music. It's about eating people. That's what we do.
All right. I'll give it a shot.
Sneakily.
And as this small little family reunion comes to a bit of a close, that too is where we will end our session this evening. Thank you, my wife, Victoria, slash in real life Monica, for being here to pass off the character of Victoria to me, though the shoes are always there should you want to come back and fill them. However, for the purposes of game, I'm now Victoria. I've consumed you. You're part of me.
It's
Yeah,
symbiosis.
first time I've heard a man say that.
We are masters.
I did just watch the new Venom trailer today, and it's pretty great.
Oh my
We are masters.
I'm just so happy that she came back and gave like the full sass one last time. It took me back like, how many years have we been doing this?
Many
It took me
years.
all the way back.
It was fun that last time when I had the cameo. I rolled so well.
You did.
So well.
It was.
You're so fast.
Oh my gosh, it was great.
Side
Hold on.
note that has nothing to do with anything. I just checked lab results I got back, and so the normal testosterone for a man is between like 500 and 1,000. For a woman, it's between 15 and 75. Before I was somewhere around 80, 90, and now I'm down to 17.
Woot!
Ooh, very
Congrats on your journey.
Happy Pride Month, everybody!
Happy Pride. Wait, also,
This is me. This is pride.
are we masters of the universe now?
Oh no!
All right, you know what? I take it back. I think we should kill him.
Kill him. Kill him dead.
You're a master.
Around the
As
corner in the
a
hall.
fun note,
You're a master of nothing.
Uh-oh.
as a fun note, 2019 is when Victoria
fuck.
and Magdalena came into existence and met each
Oh
other.
yeah,
God damn it!
It's been
Wow.
that was
almost
fun. That
5
was
years.
that was a fun escape from a pile of dead bodies.
Yeah.
That was.
Oh, you also woke up in a pile of dead bodies?
Yeah, it's
Yup.
funny how I have 2 children that both woke up in piles of, well, 3 now, including the it's
The
fun.
Yeah.
cycle
I
continues.
was a cop, and I
Did
got
he not wait? Hold on. Didn't he wake up laying back on a stone slab?
He
That's
was
different.
technically not in a pile of bodies. You two were actually in piles of bodies, if I recall.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
I
So
was just next to one.
with that, I thank everybody that participated. I thank you all for being here. This is a large group of people. I hope no one felt neglected. I was really trying to hit around and bounce on everybody, and I hope nobody felt left out. So,
It's good.
yeah.
Fun.
So we will, for the purposes of this recording and for my own mental remembering, we'll pick up in about real life week, but also in-game week. So your projects will have time. Your projects and your downtimes will have time to flourish. You will have time to.
Oh, there's a video. A video just dropped.
Did you
There
post
it
the
is.
video?
Oh my god.
There it is.
Did you remember how to do it?
I did. I
Awesome.
couldn't figure out
Thanks.
which one was the right thing to click on, and then I did.
Look at him just
I don't-
riding around with his head down.
I haven't seen it.
So sad.
I haven't seen this video of me
He's so
sadly
cute.
driving an excavator, so.
He's so sad trying to smash it all down. As he was
Well,
broken by this time.
Well, no, to be fair, I had also been up for several hours working nonstop. I was quite tired, so I'm gonna use that as a defense. But
Other thing that just got updated, Jotun, it's got changed from the 29th to the 6th of June when we'll be in town. Or the 6th of July, I mean.
oh, I was like, that's this week.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Sorry. 6th of July, that's when the party is. That's when we'll be in town and we'll be staying the night. So the next day we can hang out. If you're there, it would be nice. I miss you guys. And you need to meet Merced because she's like the greatest human ever.
Ooh, what's her name?
Merced.
Ooh, that's a
It
pretty
is
name.
the shortened, it's the Spanish version of Mercedes.
Ah, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty
Wow,
name.
what a great name. Just what a great name, really.
Yeah, Mercy. Interesting. On that fun fact.
Do you often have to beg for mercy? Never mind. I don't want to know.
Oh, that is a
Do we get
question.
XP?
I don't know. They won't let me talk. I can't give you the XP. Sorry. I'm gonna have to.
Matt, hold on.
I'm gonna have to keep the XP this time. You guys were talking. I didn't want to interrupt. No. Yes, 2 XP is given if you do downtimes in the form of conversations in character, you want projects to do, you want to spend your XP on buying cool fun stuff that you have no XP for. Because I've been there, I know that. Send it to me on the Discords. Let me know. And a week will pass. So the things of you, or those of you rather, who have things in motion, you will be hearing back for those. I have several things that are going to come to people later this week.
Oh god, I just remembered my chat GPT message that I have to parse.
Oh
Guys,
yeah.
I have enough experience to do shit.
You know what? I don't even want to know what that says. That's just fun I'm just gonna occasionally get ChatGPT to write those up and send those to you. That's fun for me.
Yeah, I love that.
It's a thing of beauty, and I think really encapsulates that character.
It is
Right.
perfect for the character and the way that I've played him, I think. Yeah.
Also,
People write like, "Hey, how are you? I hope you're well." And she gets back, "Well, I've been pondering the existence of man and kindred." And then it's
Yeah. Diatribes that go on for days. It's fun.
I think this is also the first time I've been on stream without a wig in well over a year.
And you played Leon perfectly.
Of course I did.
You were a sassy bitch, and it was glorious. But on that, good night, everybody. Thank you for watching, playing, having a good time. I'm gonna stop the recording now. So say your final goodbyes in 3, 2, 1, now.
Raid Shadow Legends.
I already stopped it. Nice try. Nice try. Been stopped. I'm getting smarter. I don't let you talk that much. Quick
Just
little
like life.
thing to say. Thank you all again for being here. Thank you, Monica. I know you're tired and didn't want to really hop into character for the boring
Well, we did
conversation
wake
parts
up
of vampire.
very
I know
early
your
today.
your preferred vampire is shoot things, kick things, run fast. So
Yes.
thank you for being here for the boring bits.
Appreciate
Oh yeah. No, it was
it. It
fun.
was fun.
She was a sassy bitch, and I loved it.
It's
Yes,
good
nice to
because
meet you.
Mercy's come in and had a lot of new humbleness, and so to have her sister come back and be like, "Ah, fuck you, mom," is really